Modifying fire pump controllers is generally prohibited by several codes and standards. These regulations are in place to ensure the reliable and safe operation of fire pump systems. NFPA 20, the standard for the installation of stationary pumps for fire protection, is one such standard. Section 4.10(1) of NFPA 20 states that the automatic starting of the fire pump shall not be dependent upon any control system external to the pump controller. This means that the fire pump's automatic start function must rely solely on the internal mechanisms and programming of the fire pump controller itself. External control systems should not be used to initiate the automatic start sequence. NFPA 72, the National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code, also addresses fire pump control. Section 12.81 of NFPA 72 states that the actuation of the fire pump shall be initiated only by the fire pump controller. This reinforces the principle that the fire pump controller is the sole authorized device for starting the fire pump in response to a fire alarm or other emergency signal. Any other method of initiating the pump start is prohibited. ANSI/UL 1004, the standard for centrifugal fire pumps, provides further guidance on fire pump controller integrity. Section 6.6 of ANSI/UL 1004 states that the fire pump controller shall not be modified in any way that would affect its performance. This is a broad prohibition against any alterations that could compromise the controller's ability to perform its intended function. Modifying a fire pump controller can indeed compromise the safety and reliability of the entire fire pump system. These controllers are carefully designed and tested to meet specific performance criteria. Alterations, even seemingly minor ones, can have unforeseen consequences. For example, if a controller is modified to prevent the fire pump from shutting off, the pump could continue to run even when there is no fire. This prolonged operation can lead to overheating and subsequent damage to the pump motor, impeller, or other components. Overheating can also create a fire hazard. Furthermore, unauthorized modifications can void the controller's UL listing or other certifications, which can have legal and insurance implications. If there is a need to prevent the fire pump from shutting off automatically, it is recommended to install a separate control system that is not connected to the fire pump controller. This separate system would provide a means to manually start and stop the fire pump independent of the controller's automatic functions. For example, the separate control system could incorporate a manual switch or a remote control device that allows authorized personnel to start or stop the pump as needed. It is important to ensure that the separate control system does not interfere with the fire pump controller's ability to automatically start the pump in response to a fire. The controller must remain fully functional and capable of performing its intended role. The separate control system should be designed and installed in accordance with all applicable codes and standards, including NFPA 70, the National Electrical Code, and any local regulations. It is recommended to consult with a qualified fire protection engineer or electrical contractor to ensure that the separate control system is properly designed and installed. The system should be thoroughly tested to verify its functionality and ensure that it does not compromise the fire pump system's overall reliability. Fire pump controllers are designed to protect life and property. Tampering with them is dangerous and illegal. Instead, a separate, appropriately designed system can achieve the desired result of running the pump continuously. Keep in mind that a continuous operation may lead to overheating if there are no additional control mechanisms. Fire pumps are critical components of fire protection systems in many buildings and facilities. They are responsible for providing the necessary water pressure and flow to fire sprinklers and hose lines during a fire. The fire pump controller is the brain of the fire pump system. It monitors various parameters such as water pressure and flow, and automatically starts the fire pump when needed. It also provides critical alarm and status information to building occupants and the fire department. Because of their importance, fire pump systems are subject to strict regulations and standards. These regulations are intended to ensure that fire pumps are properly installed, maintained, and operated. They also aim to prevent unauthorized modifications or alterations that could compromise the system's reliability. NFPA 20, standard for the installation of stationary pumps for fire protection, provides comprehensive requirements for the installation, testing, and maintenance of fire pumps. This standard covers various aspects of fire pump systems, including pump selection, sizing, installation, electrical wiring, and control systems. NFPA 72, National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code, addresses the integration of fire pump systems with fire alarm and signaling systems. This standard specifies the requirements for initiating fire pump start signals from fire alarm control panels and for transmitting fire pump status information to the fire department. ANSI/UL 1004, Standard for Centrifugal Fire Pumps, establishes the construction, performance, and testing requirements for centrifugal fire pumps. This standard ensures that fire pumps meet minimum performance criteria and are capable of delivering the required water flow and pressure. Modifying a fire pump controller can have serious consequences. It can compromise the safety and reliability of the fire pump system, potentially endangering lives and property. It can also void the controller's certifications and create legal and insurance issues. It is important to understand the applicable codes and standards and to avoid making any unauthorized modifications to fire pump controllers. If there is a need to change the way a fire pump system operates, it is recommended to consult with a qualified fire protection engineer or electrical contractor. These professionals can provide expert advice and guidance on how to safely and effectively achieve the desired results. They can also ensure that any changes comply with all applicable codes and standards. Remember that fire pump systems are designed to protect lives and property. It is essential to treat them with respect and to avoid making any changes that could compromise their performance. The integrity of the fire pump controller is paramount to the overall reliability of the fire protection system. Unauthorized modifications can introduce risks that outweigh any perceived benefits. If continuous operation of the fire pump is desired, consider implementing a separate control system that does not interfere with the controller's primary functions. This approach allows for manual control while maintaining the automatic start and stop capabilities of the controller, ensuring compliance with applicable codes and standards. Furthermore, ensure that the separate control system is designed and installed by qualified professionals who are familiar with fire protection systems and electrical codes. Proper design and installation are crucial to ensure the system's reliability and safety. Thorough testing of the system is also essential to verify its functionality and identify any potential issues. In addition to the codes and standards mentioned previously, local regulations may also apply to fire pump systems. It is important to check with the local fire marshal or building department to determine if there are any specific requirements or restrictions in the area. Compliance with all applicable codes and standards is essential to ensure the safety and reliability of the fire pump system and to avoid potential legal or insurance issues. Fire pumps are critical components of fire protection systems, and their proper operation is essential for protecting lives and property. Understanding the regulations and standards that govern fire pump systems and avoiding unauthorized modifications to fire pump controllers are crucial steps in ensuring the safety and effectiveness of these systems.